I'm Zach Boyette. I am Remote Year Kaizen. We started way back in 2017. At the time, I had just quit my job at Google. I had no idea what I was doing. I was working for a small startup at the time, but I just always knew that I wanted to be remote. I never traveled on a plane at all until I was 19. Actually, I never left the country until I was 24. And I was one of the youngest remotes in my group, and just got so much out of the experience and was just inspired to make this a core part of my life. So while I was on Remote Year, I actually started a company called Galactic Fed, a growth marketing agency that I still run now. Started this company on Remote Year. I've since grown to 150 employees around the world in over 25 countries. I really attribute my success from the company I've started as an entrepreneur to my experience on Remote Year, to my ability to connect with people around the world, to travel with the group. And that's been extremely important to me. My entire life, I've wanted to be an entrepreneur. I started my first company when I was 19 in college. I was remote then without really even knowing it. I had no idea what I was doing with that first company. I taught myself how to code and didn't know how to build a good product or hire a good team. But what I realized was that I really love this sort of remote work aspect. And I think that now at Galactic Fed, the company that I run now, being remote and being able to hire people from around the world has helped me scale to a 150 person team way faster than I would have if we were all based in one city. Because whenever I need to hire somebody, I can hire the best person in the world, no matter where they're located. And I can give them the greatest perk that you can give any employee, in my opinion, which is allowing them to be remote, allowing them to set their own schedule, allowing them to go to the gym in the middle of the day if they want, as long as they get their work done. And I found that, as someone who used to work at Google, these tech companies, and had, the beanbag chairs and the free lunches and all these things, those are cool, but it really is just kind of a shackle keeping you in one place. Where I feel like what people really want in their work is this sort of freedom and independence to create their own lifestyle. And I found that both for myself and for my employees, remote work has been the best way to give back, to give freedom, to give independence. Most people, you kind of get into a routine where you live, and you find that a month goes by really fast because 80% of the things you do are kind of the same, right? You go to the same gym, you go to the same grocery store, you go to the same office. When you're traveling and working remotely, it's almost like you trigger that sense of creating new memories all the time. And those are the periods that feel the most sticky in your mind because your brain is having to process a lot. And when you're able to be remote, you're able to keep your mind constantly in that loop, which makes you continually remembering new things, such that 1 month feels like a year in your normal life. And I always think of it like, in normal life, the most interesting parts are sort of the transition periods. I always think of it as sort of like the elbow between your life, where you're going from one part to the next. And I find that as a digital nomad, your entire life is an elbow. You're always in that sort of new period of time, experiencing new things, meeting new people, but also having some structure by doing a program like Remote Year or keeping a nomadic community so that you feel grounded while at the same time having this sort of expansive experience. And don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed my solo experiences. I think I learned a lot about myself and had a very personal time, but I find that the best, most memorable remote work, digital nomad times happen when you can look next to someone you're with and say, wow, look at that thing that we did together, or look at this community we've built. And that gives you this sort of connective tissue that binds you across countries, across time, across places with people who get what you're doing. And so for that reason, I really love traveling on Remote Year programs and with Remote Year people. My advice to new remotes is to remember that wherever you go, there you are. You're not going to magically get over your heartbreak. You're not going to magically be cured of some ailments you may have. But at the same time, it's not going to be that scary. You really just have to pack a bag and you're kind of there. The most dangerous phrase you can tell yourself is not now. There's always a better time. You can always wait till you're married. You can always wait till you get a promotion. You can always wait till you've started your own thing. You can always wait till whatever it is, you will have an excuse. You listening right now are thinking of a reason why you're not remote yet. And you think it's legitimate, but I'm telling you it's not. I promise that whatever it is, it's not as important as you think you are. And it's way more flexible than you imagine. And if you don't do it now, you're going to look back in 5 or 10 years and say, man, now it's just so much harder than it was back then. Back then I thought, oh, I just had this really important thing. But in 10 years, you'll say that was so small. And the barriers I have now are so much higher. Do it now, do it while you can, and don't look back, and you'll have the best time of your life.